Today we're going to be taking a look at this fan kit from Deep Cool. This is the MF120GT fan kit. This particular kit includes 3 fans. It has a fan hub, an RGB hub, and an RGB controller included with it. You can also do motherboard RGB control if you choose to use it that way. These are 4-pin PWM fans with a rating of 500 to 1800 RPMs, which gives you 60.6 CFM. It does include these deceleration cables, which will lower that to 400 to 1450 RPM with a 48.3 CFM rating. I really do like the X design, and the RGB elements are kind of embedded in that. It also has a dual blade fan. So anyways, let's get this opened up. First and foremost, we'll see, does it look great? And we get the included RGB hub and the RGB cable. This would be for motherboard control. And in this bag, we get the actual RGB controller. And we get the fan hub itself, 4-pin, and there's your motherboard connector. These are going to be those deceleration cables. And you get the included screws to mount to your case. And they also do include the longer screws for mounting up against the radiator should you choose to use it that way. And you get the 3 fans themselves. Okay, so we'll just demonstrate real quick all the different connections you're going to make to get this fan hooked up. You're going to start by taking your fan hub, and you're going to take the 4-pin PWM connector and you'll plug it into position 1 to start. And then from there, this 4-pin is going to go to a fan header on your motherboard, and this will be, where the PWM signal is going to come from. Alternatively, you can take one of these low-speed deceleration cables and you will plug your fan into there. And then you will take this and plug it in there, and that will limit the RPM range that you get on that. Again, this is an optional piece. I really can't see any reason why I would use this for me personally. I would just use PWM and a fan curve to control it if I needed to slow it down. But that is there should you choose to use it. It comes with 3 of those, 1 for each fan. So for RGB control, you're going to take this cable here and you're going to plug it into position 1 to start on your RGB hub. Then you're going to take this cable here, and you get 2 options here. You can do motherboard control, which you would then take the included cable and you'll make the connection here. And then you get 2 motherboard connections. You get a 3-pin VDG cable, which is always listed as gigabyte. And that's kind of a little different connector than I've normally seen, but that should work just fine. And then you get the standard 3-pin RGB connector, for ASUS, MSI, things like that. So that would connect up like that. That would give you motherboard control of the RGB lights. Or if you don't have that, you can use the included RGB controller. Now this controller does have a SATA power connection. So you connect that up to a SATA connector, and then of course you get the other end of that to connect into here. And that would give you built-in RGB control, and it has a few buttons here to change the color, speed, the mode. We'll take a look at that and see what the range of lighting you get out of that. Anyways, you would just connect the additional fans into that system and you're ready to go. So I've got these MF120GT fans installed. They'll give you absolutely no trouble. It's like every other fan you've ever installed. The main reason I wanted to look at this, and I expect many of you do as well, is going to be this unique X design on the RGB element. I think it looks fantastic personally. It doesn't fill the whole entire fan blade as much as I thought it would, at least through the front. Through the rear, it definitely fills it more. At least it seems to me that you get more of a an effect in the rear. But that said, it looks great from the front. It's sharp looking. The included controller that I played with definitely has enough sequences in it to get started. There's not a ton of them there, but you know, it's adequate for most of what you're doing. You get control over the speed, the colors, the sequences, and definitely no issues there. It works just great. The PWM control works just fine on this motherboard, with the only thing to note is this ASRock motherboard, when I set the fan curve to a 0 on the lower temperatures, it will not shut these off. It left them at the lowest RPM, which is not necessarily a problem, but just something to note. I did switch over to the Commander Pro from Corsair just to continue testing with it. That will actually shut it off. When I set the fan curve to 0, it'll shut it off and then restart it again. I can report that the RPM ranges that are reported on the box are pretty accurate. I was able to get 500 on the low end, 1800 on the high end, and with the included low speed adapters, it does reduce it by about 400 on the top end and about 100 on the low end, so I can get about 400. With one exception, this top fan wouldn't go below 500, and I'm not sure why, but personally, I wouldn't be using these low speed adapters myself. So, you know, but that's just something to note, that at least on the one fan, it didn't reduce it at all. So overall, my impressions of this fan kit are, I think it looks sharp. You know, I did some basic cooling tests with it. This is not the best case for cooling, but these fans are right in there. It definitely moves some air, so you know, for basic cooling needs, you're not going to have any issues with it. That said, if this is an RGB design that you like, you know, and the CFM ratings are kind of where you need them to be cooling wise, I can't see any reason why you shouldn't do this fan. Anyways, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. I'll be happy to help out as best I can. And anyways, that's going to do it for today. Thanks.